Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A good day to Dr. Nusia. My name is Narshabi Kaminti Ismail. My metric number is 265443. This presentation is to fulfill the requirement of SCCT 3043 Seminar Media. So my final year project, which is based on production-based paper, which is creative content development of social media on historical site of Sultan Kedah, Kota Siputih, Lindungan Bulan. So I'll go through the next slide, which is I will explain about a little bit about abstract. So abstract is that, of course, I like to stress about the Kota Siputih, that which is the Kedah third government center. And within abstract also, I highlighted the hope that to open the eyes of Kedah historians to re-elevate the history of Kota Siputih. In this production also, there are three key messages that will be published, which are to unravel the story behind the tomb of Puteri Lindungan Bulan. Second is to unravel the story between the attacks of Aceh's people towards Kedah. Third is to unravel the discovery of artifacts and coins that was hidden in the city. And the development of this documentary video is the result of collaboration with the Kedah State Museum Board. Why? Because we would like to increase the visibility of the Kedah State Museum Board and to inform about the information of the Kedah Sultanate, especially in social media among virtual citizens. So the keywords is the documentary, Kedah Kota Siputih, Third Arranged Center of Kedah, and Sultan Sulaiman Shah II. Next, I will explain about introduction. So this study focuses on a documentary entitled Kota Siputih Lindungan Bulan. Why? Because in Kota Siputih, there are narrative about the Puteri Lindungan Bulan, which is, I will expand this storyline between at the end of the documentary video. So from the beginning, I will introduce the history of Kota Siputih and the important events that happen in Kota Siputih. And this production also is based on history and myth about the government of Sultanate Kedah during the third reign, and of course the legend of Puteri Lindungan Bulan. And in hopes that with this documentary, we will provide a new narrative in accordance to some artifacts that hidden in the city. There were lots, and this documentary also focuses on the expand of plot and the storyline, which are inserted featuring the historical reviews and a little, maybe some interviews with the informant. Next slides, I will explain about research objective. The research objective of this study, of course, is to publish a 10-minute documentary. And second, to create a new narrative story regarding the history of Kota Siputih. And to encourage historian and history enthusiasts to seek knowledge in easy way, because this video we will post it on Kedah State Museum Board, YouTube and social media, so that it's the easiest way that people to reach the video. So next slide is literature review. In this production, there are 8 literature review, which is one is documentary concept. The documentary concept is the documentary has been described as a film production branch that goes to the actual. It's shot, edited, and shaped. It is attempting to send the type of pattern to the complex of direct observation. According to Gerson, 1971, a documentary is a form of social political communication which aimed at promoting education and eventually be a mechanism of social reform. The documentary was initially been called as reality films, and it was a one of a moment or less long. Of course, this documentary is about 10 minutes, and also it's about promoting the knowledge and education, which is somehow, it's not somehow, which is true. And also documentary has been advanced to be longer and to incorporate more classification like observational and instructive. For instance, the documentary is a movie that is not fun, a severe film, something that tries to teach you something, which is, it still gives you something that educational video so that people can learn something from that. Next is the concept of folklore. This because I would like to put a little, not a teaser, but something more to explain about how Puteri Lindungan Bulan gets the name, the actual name of Puteri Lindungan Bulan. So this is somehow the folklore that people, the local people at Kota Siputih talk about. According to Juliana 2019, folklore is a living story which evolved hereditary from generation to next generation. Folklore is the story that lives within people which community are well known about the story. Folklore is a tale delivered by someone to someone else through oral speech, by Aston 1993. And Aston 1993 also mentioned the events of the story had been considered as the story that has happened in the past, or it was made up story due to the encouragement of wanted to give a message or amend it through the story. There are a various version of Puteri Lindungan Bulan. So this documentary is to tell the authentic facts about the real actual event that has been happened in the past, for the past few centuries. So that's the reason why we came up with this documentary with Kedah State Museum Board. So next slide, the history of Royal Kedah. As we know that Kedah is the oldest state back then, maybe around 1200 AD until 1500 AD, which Kedah Darul Aman that exists today is one of the oldest Malay government in the region, which we called Kedah Tua. And Kedah Darul Aman state monarchy system began 1,200 years ago with the establishment of the Hindu-Buddhist kingdom. So at that time, the Hindu-Buddhist influence ended in 12th century, and the Islam begin in 136, something like that. And according to Jelani 2019, stated the first Sultan was Maharaja Darbar Raja, who hailed from Persia right after defeating in battle. He fled to Kalha. Kalha means the Arabian called Kedah that time is Kalha. It's like a mixed name between the river in the Kedah, Sungai Mas, Sungai Muda, and another sungai I forgot, but that's how it is. Where from there he formed his government. And at that time, one of the sheikh from Yemen came, which is Sheikh Abdullah has arrived in from Yemen and converted Sri Paduka Maharaja Darbar Raja to Islam and renamed his as a first Sultan in Kedah, which is Sultan Al-Muzaffar Shah. Yet Kedah was also renamed to Kedah Darul Aman, according to Jelani 2019. And the Kedah Sultanate was not free from the threats after the converted Sultan Maharaja Darbar. Kedah was not free from the threat. especially from Aceh, Siamese, and British. Next is Kedah Rain Center. As we know that Kedah is the most longest rain center. We know that, which is came from the Muda River, which is a famous center of government, starting at Lebah Bujang. And Lebah Bujang is the form of the Kedah tour. And Nasha 2017 stated Kedah tour is visited continuously by the traders from east and west, as it depends on the monsoon-wide exchange factor. So Kedah tour is, there are many traders from east and west came to Kedah to trade, to make business. And Kedah tour is the main entrepot center that time. So Lebah Bujang is the center of rain and the earliest entrepot for the government of Kedah tour. We can see it can be proved. It has been proved that Lembah Bujang, they have artifacts and coins, something like that. They found that in Lembah Bujang. But this production will focus on only the Kota Siputih only. And Kota Siputih as the third main rain center of Kedah. Kota Siputih has been one of the centers of the Kedah state government for almost 300 plus years, 328 in the books, in the traditional era of Kedah after Lebah Bujang. And this era also, the conquest of the Empire of Malacca also exists at this moment, like this time. And Kota Siputih also is the most extended center of government ever to be, as this place is suitable and expect because Kota Siputih is near to the river. That's why there are many traders from east and west came to Kota Siputih to trade, to business, to carry anything, to carry various activities, foremost from Aceh and Siamese and British. And Kota Siputih has been one of the longest center reign of Kedah due to the activities, as this happened, as this has been supported by Ibrahim and Syahrani 2014 in their books, Kota Siputih Lindungan Bulan. The center of people carrying all the activities, Kota Siputih is the heart of the center, heart of country, a heart of state in Kedah. The people carrying all the activities, and from there, it has been proven that the gold money that obtained a name as Malikul Zahar has been proved. The relationship between Kedah and Aceh has been long existed in Kedah, especially in Kota Siputih. So next slide is the Sultans who rule in Kota Siputih. There were 8 Sultan of Kedah who resides and reigned in Kota Siputih. First is Sultan Ibrahim Shah from 1321 until 1373. Second is Sultan Sulaiman Shah, starting 1373 until 1423. Third is Sultan Ataullah Muhammad Shah, 1423 until 1473. Fourth one is Sultan Muhammad Jiwa Zain al-Azil Muazzam Shah, starting 1473 until 1506. And next is Sultan Muhammad Shah II, starting 1506 until 1547. After that, Sultan Muzaffar Shah, 1547 until 1602. Next is Sultan Sulaiman Shah II, which start at 1602 until 1626. And the last Sultan reigns and reside in Kota Siputih, which is Sultan Rijaluddin Muhammad Shah, starting 1626 until 1652. So in this production, we will take each events that this Sultan reigns and resides in Kota Seputih and rule in Kota Seputih. But the most established rulers is Sultan Sulaiman Shah, because there were a threat from Aceh. Why? We will talk in another slide, of course. Next is the important event takes place in Kota Seputih. So in the era of Sultan Sulaiman Shah II, there are Kedah never free from threats, especially from Aceh. Starting then, because of that, Kedah was successful due to the paper trade, and because of that, Aceh military kind of jealous or wanted to monopolize Kedah. So they send their military assets and something to take down the Kedah. And after the war happened, Sultan Sulaiman Shah too has been captured by the Aceh people, and he died there together with his wife. After Sultan Sulaiman Shah deceased, Tunku Rijaluddin, which the next ruler after him, Tunku Rijaluddin ruled Kota Siputih for a while, and he changed his government to Kota Naga. Next slide is the legends of Puteri Lindungan Bulan. So the Puteri Lindungan Bulan, or real name is Tengku Zaleha. Puteri Lindungan Bulan is a daughter, the youngest daughter of Sultan Sulaiman Shah II. Because of this, Puteri Lindungan Bulan, how she owns the name, because Sultan Iskandar Muda from Aceh wanted to marry Sultan Sulaiman's daughter, which believed that Sultan Sulaiman's daughter have white blood princess. Because of that, she wanted to marry Princess Zaliha, and Sultan Sulaiman Shah could not agree with the Sultan Iskandar intention. So Sultan Sulaiman Shah II replaced with Princess Mariam, which is his first daughter. And then Sultan Iskandar Muda married Tengku Mariam. And then at that time, there was a time Tengku Mariam cut off her finger, like unpredictable. Tengku Mariam cut off her finger until the king of Aceh realized that she is not Tengku Zaliha, because the blood came out is red. So because of that, Aceh came out with anger and caused them to give a revenge by attacking Kedah. And Sultan Sulaiman Shah hid Tengku Zaliha under the bunker and prayed to God. And there he prayed to God on the moment where the moon at that time was bright and shine. So until then, the army of Aceh couldn't find the bunker. Until then, Tengku Zaliha died there. And Sultan Sulaiman Shah went to Aceh, captured by the Aceh military, and died there. Until now, the Tengku Zaliha, which is Puteri Lindungan Bulan, died there and nothing happened. Everything in the Kota Siputih destructive. So that's how they got the Puteri Lindungan Bulan, because of Sultan Sulaiman prayed to God under the moon, the shining moon, and then that's how they got she got the Puteri Lindungan names. Next slide is development stage. In this production, in synopsis, there are Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. So the Act 1, I will focus on the existence of Kota Siputih, of how Kota Siputih exists. Maybe give it establishment on the history of Kota Siputih. On Act 2, I will be focusing on the threat from Aceh military, followed by the local narration, which is Puteri Lindungan Bulan. So I will not mix it, but maybe differentiate it between those, the narration, local narration, and the real actual facts about the Kota Siputih history. In Act 3, I will focus on the fallen of Kota Siputih and the government center, which has been moved to Kota Naga. And in this development stage and pre-production, also I'll focus on 3 plots, just like I said before, Act 1, 2, and 3. And then next slide, I'll be talking about budget. So far, for the budget, in technical part, I will take all the equipments from SMMTC office, the camera and also the tripod and something and anything else. And for the fees, food, beverages, and transportation, so as is only count down the total only 100. That's all, because the location from UEM to the actual informant place, informant house, and the actual location for the shooting footage is not that far, because it's located in around Kodiang, Jitra, Kedah. So nothing expensive. So next slide is I'll explain about production, which is I will implement the 1-minute teaser, which is already done, 1-minute teaser, because for this teaser, I already pitching the idea with Kedah State Museum Board. Alhamdulillah, everything is good. Just need to improve more a little bit on the storyline. And the second is the poster of the documentary, of course, because it's to promote the documentary video, and 1-minute teaser of behind the scene, and of course 10 minutes full documentary video. For the location of the video or the storyboard, of course I will choose the tombs of Puteri Lindungan Bulan and the artifacts and coins that was hidden in the city, the trees surrounding the Kota Seputih, and the Puteri Lindungan Bulan signboard from the road. Outside the road, there is a signboard, Puteri Lindungan Bulan signboard, and the roads to Puteri Lindungan Bulan location. And of course, I will shoot the informant house as to give more or to establish more the information about the documentary, to make it to express the moods, to give moods to the audience, so the audience can acknowledge or understand what is the documentary is about. So the post-production, of course, I will use the Wondershare Filmora for the software and Photoshop CS6 for the poster, and Audacity software for the voiceover or music background. And this is the 3 software I will use. And for this documentary also, I will use a voiceover narrator with myself, the narrator, and I will put the music background to give more intense. So I will use the SFX and VFX, which is sound effects and video effects. Color grading and cinematography, of course, it is important to me to give, like I said before, the moods, to create the moods so that the audience can watch with good moods, So last one is to viral to the social media, which is the Kedah State Museum Board YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, they will create a QR code scan, and then from the QR code scan, there will appear a link to the YouTube, so that people who watch wanted to know about the history can watch through the YouTube. It's easy and fast. So next is the conclusion. Kota Siputih has their own original point that we would like to give and implement for the audience. Of course, Kota Siputih have a great battle that has been took place, which make them so destructible because of the threats from Aceh. So at the end of the war, the city has been destroyed by the military offensive of Aceh. There's nothing left behind, only the tomb and the artifacts and the coins that were left behind. So that's all for me. Thank you.